Hello, I'm Chris Brady, one of the founders of Life. You've just received a package of life-changing materials with your Life subscription. In that package came a book called How to Have Power and Confidence in Dealing with People with Les Giblin. Now this is an age-old classic. I first read this book probably about 15 years ago, and I've read it several times through. As a matter of fact, this is my old copy that I've gone through so many times and marked up and dog-eared the pages, and that's what I'd recommend to you. See, the goal of Life's materials isn't to have some big, huge investment up front and bury you in information, or to have some expensive conference far away that costs a lot of money and have a big binder that you come back with and set it up on your credenza where it collects dust and doesn't accomplish anything in terms of transforming your life. Maybe some good memories, probably some good information, but it's expensive, it's difficult to do. And what we found in our studies is that doesn't produce lasting change. Our model for life improvement is small doses of information, correct information, based on timeless truths, applied over the long term. Because the formula for high achievement is doing the right things in an aggressive way over time. So hard work times smart work times time equals success that most people can't even understand. And it begins with mental fitness. And that's why I commend you for subscribing to these Life materials. It's why we put so much work into delivering the absolute best to you so that you can use these and apply them to your life. And I want to go through just a couple minutes here on how you apply these to your life to make the most impact. It's great that you've purchased this subscription, but it will be absolutely wasted money if you don't apply it to your life and apply it right away and consistently. So let's talk through the Les Giblin book, How to Have Power and Confidence in Dealing with People. Even if you have people skills that are off the charts, it's good for all of us to review. And if you're new to this genre, if you're new to this category of information that can apply to your life and help you make changes that you see immediate results with, then you're going to absolutely love this stuff. And if you've been at this for a while, if you've even read this book before, going through it again is going to still be revolutionary in your life. There's so many powerful things. Now, the first point I want to make is that you'll notice that I've got pages folded over, I've got things highlighted and underlined, and I want to just talk about the powerful effect of having a pen or a pencil in your hand when you're going through a book. You may be a great reader, you may be a slow reader, maybe somewhere in between, but at whatever level you may be, you can increase your ability to retain information by having a pencil in your hand, by marking things, underlining things, folding over pages, making notes, making highlights, writing the summary to some of the great points you see in there, even crossing out passages that you don't agree with. Nobody has a lock on knowledge, and not every book is going to be 100% right. But going through the Les Giblin book is going to be important. So the first thing is to have a pencil in your hand, mark it up, make it count, make it yours. And it's okay if you absolutely trash the book as long as you get it into your mind. The second thing is to read little bits of it every day. It'd be great to establish a habit of reading at least 15 minutes a day and applying this information to your life every day, just little bits at a time. Anyone can carve out 15 minutes a day to read. Maybe it's when you first wake up, maybe it's when you go to bed, maybe it's at a lunch break at work or another type of break, whatever it might be, but just 15 minutes a day. And by doing so, you can get through this book. It's not that heavy, and you're going to find some nuggets in here. Now, my favorite part of this book is what we've taken to calling the 3 A's: accept, approve, and appreciate. And in my old copy here, it starts on page 60. And what that talks about, accept, number one, you accept people where they are. Automatically be open, have your arms open wide, be willing to accept them where they are for who they are in that moment. The second one is approve. And this is where you look to find something about them, something that they've accomplished, something for which they stand, that you can approve of. And if you're looking for these things, you can find them in people. And the third one is to appreciate. Now, to appreciate means to add value to appreciate, which means to raise in value. And this means that you pour encouragement into their lives. You find something that you can encourage them on, to appreciate them, to lift them higher and encourage them along the way. And so that's the biggest nuggets that I've ever pulled out of the Les Giblin book, but that's something that you're going to want to dig for yourself, and you'll have your own kernels of gold that you'll find in here. But try the approach of having a pen or pencil in your hand and reading this book for 15 minutes a day. Now, let's talk about the CDs that you got in the pack. There's some fantastic CDs in here. There's 4 of them, and they're very widely based. One of them is my wife Terry and I talking about the efforts that we've taken over the years with some success to develop children that love to read, and how you do that and why it's so important. Another one is Oliver DeMille, our friend and best-selling author, who talks about the fact that freedom matters and why it's so important in our countries to understand the foundational principles of freedom. Now, we're not talking any kind of partisan politics or anything here. We're above that. We're talking about foundational level things. I think you'll enjoy it no matter where you happen to be on the political divide. There are principles that we can all unite on, and that's what Oliver DeMille is talking about in this trademark CD of his. And then the third one is Orrin Woodward, talking about fighting for what matters, what counts, and all those types of principles that, you know, there are things on which you should take a stand. There are hills to die on, and this is a very deep, compelling talk that, you know, is very typical of Orrin Woodward, one of the chief founders of the Life Company and one of the visionaries that have helped make this whole thing possible, bringing this kind of information to people in their lives in a way that matters and that they can apply it. So listen to what Orrin Woodward has to say on that CD. Finally, is Attitude and the Will to Win by Bill Lewis. Now, Bill Lewis, a longtime friend of mine, is an expert at managing his attitude. He comes from a challenging background in a rough part of the world, a rough neighborhood, and he overcame all those circumstances with a positive attitude and building relationships and networks that allowed him to get out of that situation.